Mix It Up Monday hop. I just showed you the sketch that we're using this month. It was created by Rochelle Spears, and Mix It Up Monday is just about taking the inspiration from that sketch and giving it a little mix with some texture paste or watercolors, whatever your favorite kind of mixed media products might be. It's just a good opportunity to kind of get some of those products out, pull out some of your tools and play a little bit. And I love using sketches as my starting off point because it gives you the inspiration. It gives you those little kind of hints that you need to get going. Because sometimes you just look at an empty page and kind of think, oh, I don't know what to do. So having a sketch can definitely help just be the jumping off point for you. And this is a fun sketch. It has lots of pictures, lots of layers, and then there is some white space, which is perfect if you're wanting to add mixed media to it. So I was really looking forward to getting this one done. I'm going with all the greens, as you can see. So I've just pulled out some of my watercolors. Those are now just a mishmash of colors from Prima and Jane Davenport. I can't tell you which color is specifically from who anymore, but I just went for all of my greens because that's my favorite color, and that's also my son Sebastian's favorite color. And the pictures that I'm using are of him all kind of curled up with our little pup Luna, and he has a little bit of green in his onesie that he's wearing, and so I thought I would just pull out the green and kind of use that. And I'd say this is pretty much a monochromatic layout, which I've done with him before using green, but I just love it. I don't know what it is. I love green and he loves green, so I figure let's go for it. So I put down kind of a smushing of watercolors, and then I let it dry just a little bit, and then I went back over it with some texture paste. And so I did let some of the texture paste kind of blend in with the color, and then some of it is white, and so it just adds a lot of depth and a lot of kind of texture and dimension and just that little extra something in the background. And then I'll keep all of my embellishments and my layers a little bit tighter to my pictures. I didn't have 4 pictures. I looked and looked for some sort of series of pictures that I might have that kind of jumped out at me, and I didn't have any, but I did have these 3 pictures. One is a square, and then the other 2 are little 4x3 photos. So I figured that kind of works. It adds a little bit of interest to having them different sizes, but I still get that feeling of the column just like in the sketch. So while it's drying, all my mixed media and my texture paste, I'm going to go ahead and start building some of those layers. And I'm mostly using scraps that I have in my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit for this month. I know that larger green piece that I matted my photos on is from Moda Scrap. It's actually one of their Christmas collections from a few years ago, but it's just this really pretty green. I really like that green. And then I'm just using other little scraps. That little piece there is, as you can see, it's got a giant hole in it. It's just the branding strip. This is a piece from Altenew that is white with little sort of lime green flowers on it. So I'm really just pulling scraps out and building up some layers in behind those photos. Nothing too perfect. I really like when my layers are a little bit, maybe off-centered or wonky, or you can see where I cut the larger piece, the larger green piece. There's one little spot where it kind of dips because, there's a train going by. Okay, I think it's almost gone, so hopefully we won't hear it too loud in the background there. But you can see how on that right-hand side, there's a little bit of a dip in the paper. It's not cut perfectly straight. If I had cut it too much closer to kind of get rid of that dip, it wouldn't have, the larger square photo wouldn't have sat properly on it. So, I'm totally okay with my layers not being perfect because I feel like if you're going to make them perfect, measure everything, make them look really, maybe it's not done. It is still going. Sorry about that. Anyways, make them look perfect, measure all the way around and have everything, lined up exactly, all your edges straight, whatever it might be. And if for some reason you can't, then make everything imperfect, and then that looks very purposeful and it looks, like you've done this intentionally. So I tend to go for that because I don't pull my paper cutter out very often. I tend to cut things with scissors, just eyeball them or rip them. And so if everything is going to be a little bit wonky, then at least, it's kind of done with that intention in mind. And I know I've told you guys this all before, but essentially that's sort of what I go for, is just make it look purposeful. So now my mixed media is dry, and you can see once I put my big cluster with all my photos, I pretty much cover up all of the mixed media. Now, I did intend for it to just kind of poke out from the edges, and so I probably could have gone with it, maybe just extended it a tiny bit and had, little bits of it kind of peeking out. But I really like how it turned out, and I didn't want to cover it all up. So I flipped it on the other side, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of have it be beside the cluster instead of underneath it. So you can see here, nothing's covered up. It's sort of coming out from the cluster, and I think it still turned out really nice. So this is another option you have with this particular sketch, is that there was all that white space sort of on that right hand side anyways. So it looks really good. I love it. I just didn't want to cover it all up. I still had some shimmer on the paintbrush that I used from some of my shimmery watercolors. And so when you see this in real life, and I think even in some of the photos at the end, it kind of catches some of that shimmer. And then I love how the stenciling worked with the texture paste. And so it was kind of making me sad to have to cover it. And a lot of times you do the mixed media knowing most of it's going to be covered, but you do it that way so that it looks really natural when it is kind of peeking out from behind layers and peeking out from cut files or whatever it is. But sometimes it's sad to cover it up. So I just flipped the paper over, and it's as easy as that. And you probably could have flipped it any which way. So it didn't have to go this way. I probably could have flipped it, say, this way, and had just like a splotch of mixed media in the top right hand corner, or maybe down in the bottom. Like, there were a lot of options, so I wasn't too worried about it. And then there in my clusters, you can see I kind of did like a big tag and then some stickers kind of representing that cluster that is in the original sketch there. And this is where I'm putting my title instead of, I think in the sketch it's up above a little bit. I'm going to put it on the pictures right in the space where the two pictures meet. The title that I put down is just Bassie and Luna BFFs. And then the little sticker of the two dogs says Friends Forever, I think. And then the tag, and you can see here all those little embellishments, those little banners and things, those all just came from different sticker books that I have. Amy Tangerine, Chamel, I just pulled from all over. I think the puppies are Wild Child. I just grabbed for green stuff and I plonked it down. And then to finish it all off, I added some sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And that's it. That's my layout. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I love chatting with you guys down below. So leave some comments. Remember to subscribe and also follow all the links down below so you can hop through everybody playing along today. And until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.